this session may be a little bit different from what you've heard earlier, well, yesterday and today. I will not focus so much into the technology as such. I will more discuss, areas and maybe give some ideas on from my experience on what to think about when you go about, designing, looking into existing architecture, looking into, and try to avoid or gain the right impact from introducing APIs and from introducing digital services within your business and within your infrastructure. Three areas that I will cover, and I will start at looking at, the digital economy and where we are today and the impact for us, one way or the other. It requires us to be innovative. I mean, today and yesterday, and there are plenty of sessions like this globally. I spent 2 weeks in Asia last week before I just got back, and there's a lot of initiatives in Europe around fintech and various type of technology initiatives where you need to look at various ways of utilizing the old and the new, and how to gain the right impact from this from a business point of view. You typically need something independent of who you are and what type of industry you represent. You need to have a competitive service offering and be able to offer relevant services around products or around IT or whatever it would be related to, using technology in an efficient way. You need to be able to provide the relevant services internally to your organization, but also externally to business partners, customer, and use this in the right way to be able to collaborate. Risk and how to manage risk and to avoid risk is important, which obviously you need to think about the various type of regulations that are out there, dependent on which industry you're in. And then what we have seen and what I've seen talking to, looking into the market today, again, independent of the industry, how can you build an infrastructure, both from a technology point of view and a business point of view? How can you build it today for tomorrow? And that's an important, I'm not sure if I have all the answers to that, but I think that's kind of where I want to spend some time with you around now, trying to elaborate around this. There are obviously a lot of challenges in doing this in various ways within your existing infrastructure, within the partners and the customers that you're working with, and how can you collaborate in the right way? How can you utilize information and data in the right way? And also to trust the information. Just because that you have the right technology and you're implementing and maybe automating flows of data through APIs externally, through APIs internally, towards your existing legacy and so on and so forth. Just because that has been implemented, it doesn't mean that the information is accurate the whole time. So that's also something to think about moving forward. A few areas to consider when you look at digital transformation and also introducing APIs within your infrastructure and within your business today. First of all, the amount of data that is being transferred today within various industries and between organizations. Gigabytes of information, secure or not secure, but you need to think about that area and also making sure of that you still have the old traditional ways of managing information, and how can I use that to, for example, improve and create the relevant services through API technology. Security around this is important, and also the ability to actually audit the information along the way is a key business criteria for you to be successful. We have all the various type of regulations that are out there today. In Europe and in the Nordic region right now, the regulations around personal integrity and personal data is a big hot topic. Obviously, they are every day we all, I'm sure, get various type of information, emails. We subscribe to different type of services where GDPR is one of the key topics, so to say, to look into. But there are other regulations as well, and my point here is that you need to consider these as well when you build your infrastructure and the ability to support data management moving forward, with or without APIs. It doesn't really matter, but the compliance is an important area to validate. Business visibility and the ability to improve operational performance is also an area to consider, looking at old versus new, and the ability to serve and provide data services to your partners, the businesses that you collaborate with, or also internally to different type of departments. How can I provide a true end-to-end business visibility with the right type of thresholds, and also the ability to manage this in the right way? And finally, from an industry point of view and looking into financial services, various type of supply chain initiatives, different type of how do I manage these different channels, and how do I provide data services in the right way, so to say, including APIs, but also including various ways of managing large amount of data internally to the enterprise. And how can I guarantee that I can onboard my clients, my customers, externally or internally, as efficient as possible? This is kind of the fourth area that I think that we can see from our projects and from talking to clients and from talking to market analysts, is a very important area to consider when you look at introducing APIs within your enterprise or as a service. Here's an example, I was listening to I was in the other room in the session before, and this is an example from the financial services world, so to say, and obviously a very close topic for us. Stockholm now being developed into one of the fintech hubs in the world. The ability to use API gateways or API technology for banks or financial services providers to open up, and together with maybe third-party developer services, e-commerce applications, create various valid services for me and you, and for all of us in various ways. It's all about extending your system and applications in various ways to support these type of service partner, and at the end of the day, the end customer. But is this enough? And is this really what we all should do and only think about when you look at your technology and your infrastructure and support the relevant business? What we have learned and what we can see and what I can see is that you typically need to have some kind of mixed and blended approach to first of all cater for and manage API type of initiatives, but then also looking into your traditional environment where you, and I'm sure of you, one way or the other, are managing large files and you need to move data between applications internally. How can you use this file type of movements and provide these type of data services to external trading partners to maybe make your life easier and also provide your customers with better services on time and more flexible, and to be, so to say, available anywhere. So this is important, and this is something that we believe that enterprises, organizations should think about when they also introduce an API strategy within their company. If you're coming from the new, and if you're new setup, of course, you don't really carry the old infrastructure and maybe legacy applications. But still, you probably need to collaborate, and you need to work with organizations that cater for and manage huge amount of data, and then typically need to have something, an architecture that can serve both worlds, so to say. So, some conclusion, and again, the list is quite long on where and how I should start, and I'm sure that, you know, by listening to some of these good sessions today and yesterday, you can understand that there's different approach to solve and to avoid or to minimize the challenge. But 3 areas, and maybe I talked about, you know, think about and how can I build today's infrastructure for tomorrow. Maybe the second bullet is more important. You know, utilize and gain from the integration technologies and the integration services and the people that worked with this before and still doing it, work together to create a complete strategy where you can coexist, so to say, and think about the new and at the same time manage the old. And by doing that, you will be able to provide an efficient area, an efficient way to manage different type of channels. Could be the device channel, a way to provide the relevant services or any type of device. It could be a web front end. It could be an automation towards a trading partner and so on and so forth. I think the important thing is coexist and look at, you know, how can I manage the information that I have available today and provide that in the relevant way from a service, from an API service perspective. And by doing this right, obviously there's a lot of text on this slide and I'm not going to go through all of this, but by doing this right, you will obviously help and you will gain and you will make sure of that you know, different type of departments, externally or internally, would gain you know, the relevant business benefits and can help, you know, move your company, your service provider, the collaboration with specific partners. You can move this forward and be even more efficient than you are today. Short about Seaburger, we're obviously a business integration provider and we have various type of solutions around this area. I'm happy to share more with you that after this session. Thank you very much.